penalty and James Maddison's late second. The difference tonight, Matt Elliott, and it is 7 top-flight wins in a row. Extraordinary, equaling Nat Gillies' great team of 1962-1963.
Yeah, it takes some doing, some achievement that is, and there's more in the motor yet as well, isn't there? I think big tough game at the weekend, Aston Villa away. That'll be a real test for the boys, especially the run of games that they've been through and they've got coming up. But they've got that resilience, they've got that mentality, they've got that all-round game to go into the fixture at the weekend on the back of yet another confidence-boosting win to go and strut their stuff. But it's very impressive watching them win in different ways, with different people coming to the fore, different people contributing, but one main man at the helm. The manager is overseeing so much positivity in front of him. What a job that him and his players are doing.
Just as you said, different players excelling. Brendan Rodgers went over to James Dustin and gave him a big hug. He actually got an assist for that Maddison late second. Yeah,
what introduction he had. I mean, he was straight into the fray, wasn't he? He's waited a while for his Premier League debut, it was, at home. He wasn't at phase, wasn't overawed, slotted straight in there, as did Dennis Pratt, and as did Hamza Chowdhury when he got his opportunity again.
Man of the match time, Matt Elliott. It's another win, another tricky one.
I'm going to turn into a bit of a predictable situation here, I suppose. Me and Jerry, often similar-minded. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but he went for Ricardo on Sunday. I can't go anywhere else tonight, I'm afraid. I thought he was as bigger influence as anyone out there, and Didi again. Other than that, many decent performances, not too many outstanding. The centre halves, again, rock steady. Boots, maybe, does he deserve a shout?
Yep, he was excellent.
Deserve a shout. But I'm going to have to go Ricardo again. It's becoming a little bit predictable, but I thought he was the class operator out there.
Ricardo, man of the match by Matt Elliott. Brendan Rodgers has just applauded all four sides of the King Power Stadium. He's got a big smile on his face as he heads down the tunnel. Another victory. Leicester City back second in the Premier League table. 35 points from 15 games. It's extraordinary. Full-time score at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 2, Watford 0.
Thanks, Chris. Job done for Leicester City, and we've got all the reaction coming your way over the next hour. Matt Elliott, we'll hear more from him very soon. He's going to join us from the cold of King Power Stadium and come in to the studio. Also got Nev Folger and Jerry Taggart with us. But before we talk more about tonight's game for Leicester, let's have a little roundup of what's happened elsewhere. Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1. Abraham gave Chelsea the lead. Trezeguet brought Villa back into it, but Mason Mount's goal early in the second half means Chelsea win that one 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1. An unhappy return to Old Trafford for Jose Mourinho. 2 goals from Marcus Rashford for United. Dele Alli scoring again for Tottenham. Big game at the bottom of the Premier League. Southampton 2, Norwich City 1. Ings and Bertrand for Southampton. Pukki with a response for Norwich. Wolves 2, West Ham 0. Dendoncker and Cutrone with the goals for Wolves. 2-0 at Molineux, and quite a interesting and exciting Merseyside derby. They're only 10 minutes into the second half. They're a later kickoff. It was Liverpool 4, Everton 2, and that was just at half-time. 2 goals from Origi, one of those absolutely sensational. Shaqiri and Mane as well. Keane and Richarlison scoring for Everton. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on at Anfield throughout the evening. But let's talk all things Leicester City. Keep your comments coming. Thank you very much. Barbara has been in touch. Well done, boys. You are great. Mario says, very happy. Clean sheet. Wasn't an easy game. Well done to the subs. They came on, adapted really well and showed they're ready for the side. 3 points. Focus on that next game. Also, Val's been in touch saying, well done, Leicester. Emma says, come on the Blue Army. And Pauline says, well done, you boys. Plenty more to come. Obviously, if you've got any questions for Matt, Jerry and Nev over the next couple of hours, then do get in touch. Not the next couple of hours, I'm keeping us here all night. Next hour or so. Joe says, good day from South Australia. Always good to have you with us, Joe. Way to go, Foxes. Great start to my day. Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one. Right, as I said, Matt, Jerry and Nev are with us. We've heard Matt Elliott's views. Jerry Taggart, what were your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, well, we spoke about it at half-time. It was just one of those games where things, weren't quite up to speed. Came out the second half that we thought they'd get a bit of a team talk at half-time. They had that. They came out. They looked a little bit sharper, obviously with a penalty situation, which we'll probably talk about in a minute.
We'll be talking all about it.
But you have to say Leicester were the better team on the night. Watford did offer something in the game, but I can only recall Kasper Schmeichel making one save, and that was that shot later on. That's the only one I can remember.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the only one I might be wrong, but you have to say Leicester were the better team. They grounded out big time tonight, okay, with the help of the referee and VAR. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The 3 points are in the bag. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we'll certainly talk more about that, Nev. It was, as Jerry said, really a ground-out win tonight. You can almost tell that with the celebration. Obviously, on Sunday, there was the ecstasy of that last-minute winner, and the players went mad. When Maddison scores there, it was more a case of, phew, we got through that.
Yeah. It wasn't their best performance of the season by a long, long way, but they deserved the win. They were the better side. There's no question at all about that. They'd got more ambition and they wanted to get forward. The first half was, we thought, a bit flat, a bit of slow. They got quicker in the second half with the football. And we will talk about the penalty that Vardy scored later. And I'd like to sort of congratulate James Justin on a very impressive 15-minute cameo, and he got the assist with Maddison's late goal, but he looked playing out of position in a way on the left wing, very impressive.
Yeah, just another one of those players that Brendan Rodgers has got at his disposal, like we spoke about before, which is the great thing. Jerry, I think you were going to disagree with Matt on Man of the Match this week.
Well, no, absolutely not.
What about Harvey? Harvey got it on the?
No, I'll tell you what. Christian Fuchs, I thought.
Yeah.
He's not played a game. Well, I know he's played in the cup, but he's not played a league game, and he comes in and he had a cigarette on. He had a big, massive Havana cigar on.
Yeah, I mean, swayed towards Fuchs for that reason as well, because he's been out for a while.
Excellent performance from him, just to come in out of the cold, and he's ready to go. Brilliant. But
he was up there winning headers the last couple of minutes.
Go back to what Matt said about Ricardo. Yeah, he wasn't at his, but nobody was tonight. But what he did, he probed when he was always an outlet on the ball, under pressure. His decision making under pressure on the ball was excellent. He made a couple of wonderful challenges, especially in the first half. Yeah, out from Delafeu, fantastic bit of defending. So. Yeah, there's not a lot wrong with what Matt says, to be honest.
I swayed towards Jerry's mate, Johnny Evans. I thought Johnny Evans had a solid game tonight.
Rock steady, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you got a guy like Deeney coming in as well. A bit of a different challenge again, isn't it?
Yeah. Early on, there were a couple of signs that it might be a different challenge for Soyuncu. Deeney put one on him, didn't he, early on? He thought, here we go, this could be a little test. But then Watford sort of petered out a bit in an attacking sense, didn't they? But Johnny Evans, he's just, as is always the case, so unflustered, isn't he? And
it's a bit like
just reads it,
Johnny Evans and Jamie Vardy are probably two of the most influential players on that pitch, really, as far as the organisation of the team, and obviously at the other end, the goal scoring. But I suppose, as far as man of the match performances are concerned, even though week in, week out, they do exactly what it says on the tin, but I suppose as far as man of the match is concerned, they don't crop up that often, even though they're vital to the success of this team at the minute.
They're not eye-catching, are they?
Vardy, he didn't do a lot tonight, did he?
No, but he scored.
But exactly.
And very nearly had a second goal, Matt, and with Johnny, that lovely chip and he was unlucky not to score.
Barnes must be thinking, when is it going to happen for me?
Yeah.
But it was good defending actually that one on that occasion by Messina. But exactly, but like Jerry mentions there, Leicester weren't at the best. But you only ever felt there was one team was really going to win it. You know, the odd little flutter from Watford, wasn't it? But even then, you know, they didn't really look until literally injury time. It didn't really look like they were going for broke. Come on, lads, let's have a go. You got to do that 15 minutes to go at least.
Well, he did.
Only one goal in it.
He kept Deeney on till 87 minutes, and then put Andre Gray on 87 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's his first game in 12 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't expect him to be up the pace.
He's not exactly like Daley Thompson anyway, is he?
Play him 65, 70 minutes tops, and then get Andre Gray on, who has been involved.
But that was the only time that Leicester got
strange.
Was it a free kick? Sorry, Watford got a free kick, and it was an offside, and they just launched everyone up. Foster took it. There was a bit of urgency about it. But that was actually in injury time. You got to do that 15 minutes or so before.
It was a sort of match though where I think there was a sense of relief when Leicester got the opening goal, even though it was a penalty.
Of course, yeah, there always is, never, isn't it?
Yeah, because
always is. I mean, I was sort of thinking after that game at times. Leicester, if you're comparing them to Man City would expect to dominate that game a little bit more, even if it's a similar scoreline. But they come unstuck, don't they?
Yeah.
Even Liverpool come unstuck. They have to grind out results sometimes.
Absolutely.
What was it tonight? How did they get on tonight, by the way?
They're still playing. It's 4-2 at the moment.
Oh, well, they're
It was
cruising.
4-2 at half time. Pete says, I love Leicester City. Good to have you with us, Pete. Always a pleasure. Dave says, looked a bit jaded tonight, I thought, but a win is a win.
Correct.
Teresa says, that's the way of patience again. Jeff says, North Carolina, love for our Foxes. Way to persevere, lads. Thanks for getting in touch. And I think we'll come on to this now, shall we? Seeing as David's brought it up, wasn't me, so you can't blame me. I think VAR got the decisions for the penalties the wrong way round. What on earth is going on?
Well, there you go. I don't need to say any more. It's not a penalty, is it? The one he's given is not a penalty. The one he hasn't given is probably more a penalty than the one he's given. And yet again, it's exactly what I said in the first half at half time about the VAR will not go against the referee's decision. It's a all the referee is looking for is backup.
They have done on. Is it like literally 2 occasions?
Well, I think
or
it's
something?
once or twice.
Few and far between, isn't it?
They've gone again, but you can't tell me that's a penalty, man.
No.
He's not even looking at VAR. He's got his hand in his chest. Johnny moves away, and the next thing you know is his hand's in his face. But he's not intentionally.
But technically.
Technically, may I?
Mate, no, I'm just saying. I agree with you.
Don't go all technical on me.
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying in the rule book, it was, if your hand is in someone's face.
But it's got to be intentional.
There'd be 20 penalties a game, wouldn't there?
Yeah. No, I know, but exactly, I'm just looking at it.
Listen,
it was naive to
VAR
think to have your hand
is the problem. It's a simple, not VAR as technology, but the VAR who sits in a box in Stockley Park is the problem. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but your big mate Johnny, well, I saw him arguing the point out there with Troy Deeney as the game was going on, but he will say, I've been, for want of a better phrase, fingered in the eye. Right? Yeah. And that's a foul. And then I know it's not worth a penalty tag. I know, and like you say, it's intent. Yeah. But Johnny went down for a reason, was distracted from going for the ball, isn't he? In his eyes, he'll say it was a foul. But if I conceded that and I was playing the game, I'd be devastated.
Let me flip it on its head then, and that happens. The fullback, so Ben Chilwell does it to Cathcart, and the ref gives a penalty. Are we all sitting here? You sitting here saying exactly the same thing?
Mate, I agree with you. I don't think it was a penalty. I said it in the commentary.
And that's where I'm coming from.
I don't think it's enough. I'm saying they will look at that and go, there's a finger in the face, hand in the face, finger in the eye.
They're
justified.
We're seeing 2 decisions tonight that were both wrong. Yeah. But, one went for Leicester, one didn't, and they got them the wrong way around. Yeah. Simple as that. And I'm coming from this from a purely for the good of the game perspective. This is not about one team or the other. It's about the good of the game, because when I say stuff like that, I think, what happens if this happens to a Leicester player and it goes against them? Everyone's in uproar. So why shouldn't we be in uproar for the good of the game? I think it's an absolute joke at the minute.
I think the answer is what you said at half time, Jerry, that if the referee had have said a penalty for that first one, I think VAR would have supported him. I think if he'd have said no penalty for the second one, VAR would have supported him.
Has he seen it at half time, the first half one? Does that influence?
Possibly.
Most definitely.
Possibly. Yeah, it can do.
Most definitely. They've got cameras everywhere now. They've got the reruns everywhere.
Yeah, the refs are, well, they'd be correct to do so, but also egotistical enough, aren't they, to make sure that they have a look at that. It's probably part of their process to assess flashpoint
we keep
incidents.
saying it's got to be clear and obvious. And you could say on both those decisions, probably the referee was supported because neither were clear and obvious. And I think on that basis, whoever's sitting at the VAR studios has said to the referee, well, we're not overturning it because it's not clear and obvious. We'll go with your decision.
Yeah, fair point.
Andy says, skill-wise, we look better, but thought Watford could have bullied a point. Robert says, we needed a game like that. Brings us back down to earth. Give them a rest and then watch out Villa. We are after the pool. Henry says, love Foxes from Estonia. And John says, another great win. 3 points is 3 points. Always tough games at this stage. Big season ahead. Well done, Leicester City. Teresa says, win's a win. That's the main thing. And Ivan says he's walking home very, very happy now. And Mark says, what does Mark say? VAR dive, surely revoke a yellow and it's a pen. It's a shambles. We know, Mark. We're trying to make it clear. And, Jerry's coming out with a hypothetical situation saying Ben Chilwell, if he gets injured, he wasn't even playing. But he was getting found in Jerry's hypothetical world.
That's the point, though. The yellow cards, they should be rescinded.
Yeah.
In similar circumstances like that, because they could become effectual down the line. Or even worse, within the context of that game.
Yeah, so if Jamie Vardy, gets 4 more in the next 4 games, he misses Liverpool, is it?
Yeah, if that's how it works, or whatever, yeah.
If he was to, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jen says, Leicester and Liverpool are way ahead. It's only between these two this season. Well, let's take a look at the table in that matter. Liverpool are top of the tree and they are currently winning 4-2 at Anfield against Everton. They're on 43 points in first place. Leicester back up to second and 3 points ahead of Manchester City with 35 points. Man City in third, they got 32. Chelsea are in fourth, they've got 29. And Wolves up to fifth, they've got 23. Also, interesting to note that big win for Manchester United, that they're up to sixth now, after obviously everyone saying they're a mid-table team this season. All of a sudden, that very, very small difference in points between the fifth place and downwards is really showing Man United right back up the table.
The good news for Leicester is they only need 5 points to avoid relegation,
Absolutely. It's not too far to go on that one. In terms of hearing from the players, we'll get contact with a few of those before the end of the programme tonight, and of course we'll keep you up to date with what's going on at Anfield. But in terms of Leicester City, what we've said is so good about this team is you find a way to win.
Yeah, absolutely. The fitness levels again shown through tonight, especially in the latter stages of the second half. Watford, big, strong, physical, athletic side. But in the end, you look at the James Maddison goal at the end, just sheer determination and fitness to get himself through there. And Watford were just out on their feet. And that, again, has played a massive part, the fitness levels of the players. And forget about the quality and the ability of them. It was, in that second half, they had to weather a few storms, and they did that. And then to have the drive, and as you said at the end, it was more relief on James Maddison's face, but he still had the composure and the fitness to drive forward and finish it off.
Absolutely. How impressed, Matt, are you with Brendan Rodgers and his decision making? Because half time he makes a decision. He's not happy with how the game's going, so he says, "Right, let's change it up now."
Yeah, I wasn't that surprised that he made the change, albeit relatively early, isn't it? Halfway stage. And
Sunday, of course, he's kind of said, "I'm going to wait till the hour," but this time he felt that a change was definitely needed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if
not running out of patience, that's a too extreme a term, but getting slightly frustrated with Jose Perez there, because he threatens quite a lot, but the end product never doesn't materialise often enough, really. I mean, he should have, whether or not that would have been allowed, that first opportunity early on, that changed the direction of the game. But the second one he should have done much better. The one he sort of did neither one nor the other, and sclaffed it back out to Jamie Vardy, didn't he? That was the attempt of someone who's lacking a little bit of confidence to me, Tags. No? I mean, despite his hat-trick and... Yeah.
Sadly, I have to agree with you there. It is
not quite happening for him, is it? But sorry, Tags, but in reference to your comment there, or question about Brendan Rodgers, I wouldn't say he's a step ahead of what everyone sees. And so, like everyone, he'll get it wrong occasionally, but he's not afraid to try something a little bit different, a little bit out of the norm, a little bit away from the predictable. And I think tonight, his viewpoint on it has ultimately proved to be the right one, isn't it? It would have caught a few people by surprise, the fact making that change. I thought maybe Mark Albrighton would give you a bit of solidity, and things happen when Mark comes on, doesn't he? As much as anyone else. That was what I was sort of looking at.
For Harvey Barnes? Is that what you mean?
Sorry, no. Even at half time,
yeah.
If you like Perez, maybe mixing it around a little bit. But he brings Pratt on there, moves Maddison forward, and people think Maddison's that's not his best position, even though he can play anywhere. And then the next minute he sort of compounded it by taking Tielemans off, and Chowdhury comes on, and people are like, what's going on here? Why is that? Are they conceded that they're not good enough to break Watford down? But no, he's just utilising players, but also probably seen how the game was going to go anyway. And he knows his players better than anyone else, and it's going to be one of them games. Tell you what, we'll grind this out, as Jerry's mentioned there, and proved to be the right policy, didn't it? Whereas I suppose the tendency is to go, keep playing positive Leicester, go on, we'll outstrip them, we'll outscore them and stuff, but you've got to be a little bit cagier than that, or show more nous than that sometimes, and Brendan obviously helps that.
With James Justin coming on as well, that seemed to be the change which provoked a bit of conversation amongst the players, where obviously on Sunday, Brendan Rodgers had said at half-time, we had a chat and everyone knew exactly where they were going, because maybe there were a couple of changes of formation. That last one, everyone seemed to say, okay, what's the plan now? But it was quick communication, and they seemed to find their positions pretty quickly.
Well, it's shown James Justin straight away that he can play in several positions. I mean, I understood we'd signed him as a right back, but he can play left back. But by tonight, he could play left wing. As I say, I think it was a very promising 15-minute cameo. I know he's played, in the 2 Carabao Cup games, but I'm sure he's played at fullback in those matches. Yeah. But tonight, I mean, he's got an assist. He's got pace. That impressed me.
He certainly has pace.
Yeah, another one like Ricardo, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Very similar in terms of athletic sense. Yeah.
And I was very impressed, but it was a strange substitution in terms of you were thinking, well, if you wanted to send a winger on, as you mentioned, why not Mark Albrighton? And he must have had a reason for sending James Justin on.
It's a little bit of protection for Fuchs as well.
It's a defensive move to help Fuchs, because they were trying to, create down that right-hand side. And Harvey was sort of, just before he was brought off, he was losing possession, because, there were big old bunch of players out there, basically. And we have seen it before, where Fuchs has come on and Chilwell's moved on to the left wing and Fuchs has gone to the left back. So we have seen that in the past. Probably not under Brendan, but it has been an option that's been used with 2 full-backs played on the left-hand side. That's probably why it's been used tonight.
It was almost like back 3 they went to, though, didn't they? That's how I saw it, yeah. The back 3 wing backs, weren't they?
Sort of.
Like that. And Maddison was, instead of a front pairing, Iheanacho and Vardy. Sort of Maddison was lurking. He got his reward, didn't it?
Yep.
It all works. It all went well. All's well that ends well.
Absolutely. Leicester City 2, Watford 0. 7 wins on the bounce for Leicester, and it's been a good night for the development squad as well. They were playing Doncaster in the Leasing.com trophy and won 3-0 away at Doncaster. Musqui with 2 goals and Hurst as well. Not a bad result, is it, that, away at league opposition?
Him to a handful up front, Admiral and Musgrave, that is, and Hurst. They're talking about big bunch of lads. Them two are strapping, fine young fettled men. They are. Know where I was going with that one.
I was going to say, somebody mute his microphone quickly.
You sound envious there, man.
I'll turn it into birch then for a minute.
Obviously, that squad is all about development, and there's nothing better than playing actual league opposition, professional league opposition, and
Brilliant.
getting a win like that.
Over the moon for Steve Bigelow. Steve is from and lives in Doncaster as well.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So he'll be
Good manager at Donny, wouldn't he?
And he was there as a coach. That's where he started his coaching career. Was at Doncaster. So he'll be cock-a-hoot tonight.
We had David getting in touch. The fitness levels of the players show why we're so dominant in the later stages of the game. Katie said, well done, Leicester. We knew you could do it again. Well done to Jamie and to James. Well done. 14 goals for Jamie Vardy now. Yeah, he's doing all right, isn't he? He's not having a bad season so far. Let's hope it continues. Right, let's hear from Harvey Barnes. He's been talking to Dan Bates.
Harvey, congratulations on yet another win for Leicester City in the Premier League this evening.
Yeah, I think it was, you saw it was a tough game, but for us it's massive to keep that winning run going. We weren't at our best tonight, but you've seen the season, even when we've not been at our best, we've gone on to win games, which is massive.
Patience has been a word that's been used a lot this season for Leicester City, and yet again this evening you seem to show that patience. Do you always have a belief in games that you're going to go on and score?
I think definitely, yeah. The quality that we have on our side. Obviously, Vard's up front is on fire at the minute, so I think we are. If things aren't going our way, we've still got that belief that if we get a chance and it drops to one of us, then we're going to put it away and we're going to get a goal in the game.
From a personal point of view, obviously picking up the Man of the Match award, congratulations. How do you feel about that?
It's obviously really nice to get that. I've been happy with my performances this season. The goals aren't quite dropping at the minute. I had a few chances tonight. I got cleared off the line. I think for me, I'm just keeping positive. We're creating a lot of chances, so the goals are going to come. And you see throughout the side, there's goals everywhere. Which I think is massive. For a good side, you can't just rely on one person. Obviously, Vardy's getting a lot of goals, but you see tonight, Madders is getting a goal. So I think for us at the minute going forward, it's really good.
There nearly were goals again for you this evening. There was that mazy run in the first half, which would have been such a great goal, and then you must have thought you'd scored when that one was cleared off the line as well.
Just there threw my body at it, and I don't know how he's got it off the line. It's one of them. It's didn't quite drop, didn't quite go in. But I'll always keep believing I'm going to score goals. So for me and the team, it's just keeping positive and keeping the run going.
That's 7 now in a row in the Premier League. Do you feel there's something very special happening in the dressing room at the moment?
Yeah, I think for us, on and off the pitch, we have great belief, we have a great team spirit. So, obviously on a great run at the minute and just looking to keep that going. We believe that we can keep winning games. So obviously looking forward to Sunday. Going there, it's going to be another tough game, but we'll go there with the intention to get another 3 points.
Harvey Barnes there talking to LCFC Radio's Dan Bates. Another game, he's mentioned it several times there, the goals just aren't dropping at the moment, but he's certainly got the work rate. This time last year, we've seen him scoring so many goals for West Brom, and once he gets on that run, he does seem to put the ball in the net. Unfortunately, that part of his game isn't quite there at the moment, but actually he's contributing quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we talked about Ayoze Perez and how he sort of seems to be lacking a little bit of confidence in general play. And I think it's slightly the same with Harvey in front of goal, let's say, where if anything, he's trying too hard at times. Where you see Will Amazy run and maybe he could have got a shot off a little bit earlier, i.e. shoot through people. It's an old adage that forwards are given was when the ball's at your feet and you think you can strike it, hit it. It doesn't matter who's in front of you because you never know what can happen. And that instance where he's had that mazy run, the keeper comes out and does brilliantly. It's a great block from Foster, you have to say. But maybe if he just takes the chance a little bit earlier, it might come off someone's leg, wrong foot the keeper, and go in the opposite corner. So just little things like that there just aren't going for him. But, as I said, his performances are still good. He still puts a shift in. He works hard. He's always willing to go and get at the defenders 1v1. He can go down the line, inside. He can shoot, great. But obviously he just needs a goal on the end of it.
Because at this level, of course, those clear-cut opportunities maybe he's waiting for aren't going to come as often, are they?
Absolutely. Because because when you play out wide, then when an opportunity comes, you have to take within a flash. It's not like playing centre forward, even though you're expected to chip in move between 7 and 12 goals, I would say, as an average, as a wide player, as a wide forward. And at the minute, the opportunities he's had are plentiful. And so far, he's just scored the one goal, which, it was a cracker, wasn't it? But
yeah, we'll let him have that.
But yeah, I think sometimes you've got to stop thinking about scoring goals, and when it comes your way, just do it. And I think maybe he's thinking about it a little bit too much.
I think the reason he gets also not benefit of doubt, that sounds too extreme, but he creates a lot of the situations, opportunities himself. Yeah. With might be a give and a go or a cut inside, etc. But yeah, with tags on that, he's direct in every aspect of his play until he's getting in the position that actually counts. The end product. And I've said it numerous times. He's even saying it himself now, isn't he? They will come. It will click. And when it does, I mean, he could have had 3 or 4 tonight. And maybe like the one tags when you come inside, rather than trying to curl it. The decent keepers have got that covered unless you get them second guessing. Just pretending it run, smash it one at the defender. The defender 9 times out of 10 tries to block it. Once it goes through that defender's legs, the goalkeepers are rooted. You see that? Decent players, they practice that technique. It's not luck. The defender go, "Oh, you lucky git," but they actually practice that technique.
A perfect example. If you watch Rashford's goal tonight for Manchester United,
I haven't seen it, no.
Right, watch it. He just gets half a yard. The angle's real tight. It's not a great angle for him, but he just shoots and it goes in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't think about it. He knows everything is set right for him to shoot the ball at the goal, and he just does it. The next thing you know, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And that's what Harvey isn't doing.
It's not always precise, is it?
Correct. It's not. Spot on. It's not about being precise. It's about when that opportunity
being
comes
instinctive. For
you to strike the ball, just go for it and forget about everything else.
When Barnes was brought back from West Brom, several fans were saying, don't bring him back if he's just going to sit on the bench. And when you look at the talent in Leicester's squad, now you've got obviously Albrighton, you got Gray, Perez, Maddison. No one knew exactly where Brendan Rodgers was going to play certain players. For him to come in, make an impression on the new manager, and also keep his position shows what he's doing in training as well. Because, he's a young lad, not scoring the goals, you might think, well, my confidence is going to go, and actually my head might drop. His obviously isn't.
No, absolutely. And, Brendan Rodgers, you wouldn't argue against what he sees in training. And it's credit to Harvey Barnes that despite not scoring goals, he is keeping his place in the side. The big difference is, he scored the goals for West Brom. It's a different league, from the top of the Premier League. It's more difficult in this, in the Premier League to score that amount of goals. I don't think there was ever a real chance that Harvey was going to score 12 goals or something in his first season playing in the Premier League. But, he's influenced many games without scoring himself because of his pace, his strength. He's got a lot of abilities. One of them being goal scoring when it comes right, and I do think it's down to confidence. I think he's the sort of player that I think if he gets 1 or 2, he'll be on a roll. But he looks a very impressive young player.
James Justin made his Premier League debut for Leicester today. We'll hear from him very shortly. But Brian's been in touch. He says, we find a way to win always. This is how they did it tonight.
The big games keep coming thick and fast for Leicester City. Welcome to a chilly and foggy King Power Stadium as Brendan Rodgers, class of 2019, eye another slice of history. Here is Vardy in the left wing position, onto his right foot, crosses in, it might come to Perez on the volley, it does! It's another chance, it's gone all the way back to Vardy, the flag is up again. Oh, Izzy Perez has had 2 chances inside the opening 6 minutes. Oh, brilliant from Maddison and Barnes. Back to Barnes, who shoots into the side netting. That was a clear sight of goal. It was glorious build-up play. Not quite. The final finish. 24 minutes gone, 0-0. Forward to Harvey Barnes. Spooks makes his way forward. Barnes cuts inside and goes beyond a couple. Plays a 1-2 with Vardy. Plays a 1-2 with Perez. He's still going. Can Harvey Barnes finish? No. Great save from Ben Foster. That would have been a special Leicester goal. What a ball. That was some Fuchs into Perez. Into Vardy in the penalty area. He's gone over. What's the referee given here? It is going to be a yellow card for Vardy for simulation. This is controversial. Well, it stays. There's no penalty and a yellow card. Here it comes to Maddison. The corner swung in and emphatically headed away by Capoue, but Fuchs very cleverly shovels it back to Maddison, who swings in another one on his right foot. And Evans, was he fouled at the far post? Yes! This time the referee points to the spot. He didn't in the first half, he has in the second, and after 53 minutes, Leicester have a golden chance to make the breakthrough here against Watford. Jamie Vardy with the chance from the spot to score yet again. Here he comes, right-footed, and he finishes in typically emphatic style. Jamie Vardy scores again. Leicester City are winning again. Leicester break forward again with Tielemans. He's got Vardy in support. He plays it to Vardy, who gets there ahead of Foster and clips it into the middle, and it hits Harvey Barnes, but there's some last-ditch defending by Messina again, I think, and he saved a certain goal. How is that not 2-0? Here's Maddison, though, bursting into the penalty area to finish things off. James Maddison makes it 2-0 with virtually the last kick, and Brendan Rodgers' side are rewriting the record books. 7 straight top-flight wins, equaling the club records. James Maddison finishes Watford off.
Your place for all the big moments. You're listening to Matchday Live on LCFC Radio.
7 wins on the spin for Leicester City, back up to second in the Premier League. Leicester 2, Watford 0 at King Power Stadium. It also brought about a Premier League debut for James Justin, and he's been talking to Dan Bates.
James, congratulations, a Premier League debut. How are you feeling?
Over the moon to obviously finally make my Premier League debut. It's been a long time coming, to be fair, and I've just been waiting for my chance to get on, and tonight I got on, and I'm glad we got the 3 points, and hopefully I get a little 1 in the assist tally for that header.
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say you would do. It's not a bad little cameo, was it there? 15 minutes and an assist? Yeah,
it wasn't too bad. I was just trying to stay calm when I came on, and hopefully I showed what I can do in a little cameo, and hopefully there's more to come. You
showed a lot of moments that you showed when you were at Luton last year, of course, marauding down the wing. It was more of a wing-back position there this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I was left-sided wing-back, and I played it before, to be fair, at Luton on when I was a bit younger, but it's obviously put me in good stead for when I come on, and just shows that I'm not only pigeonholed to one position, I can play in a few.
What was that moment like for you? What was going through your head when you came on the pitch?
I was just trying to stay calm. In my head was thinking of all sorts of things, getting excited, this, that and the other, but as long as I stay calm, I knew I'd show everyone what I could do. And
a tense game and a tense stage of a Premier League game as well to come on in.
Yeah, I mean, we were nowhere near our best tonight, and I feel that was easy to see from anyone watching, but it's just what we wanted to do. Good teams get the 3 points no matter what, or how they play, and all of the squad contributed to that tonight.
And yet another victory. There seems to be such a great feel at the moment in that dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 7 on a bounce now, and never done before in the Premier League with us, obviously. But hopefully we can continue that going into Sunday's game against Villa.
James Justin talking to LCFC Radio's Dan Bates. Now, we use the word patience so much with this Leicester City team at the moment. And I guess for James Justin, he gets the call and, as they say, a Premier League side want you. Okay, who is it? Leicester City, right. Are you interested? Yeah. Okay, they've got one of the top 2 right-backs already at the club who's in the Premier League. And he's had to bide his time, but he's obviously taken it all in his stride, Matt, and just waited for that opportunity, and he took it tonight.
Yeah, and you have to assess the situation, but I don't think it probably. I mean, I spoke to him a while back actually, and he said he had to mull it over because his hometown loyalty and all the things that go with that, and the times he had at Luton, but he said he didn't have to think for that long, despite the situation, for numerous reasons. But everything that comes with playing with a Premier League club. But, I think it can be frustrating, but it's still an excellent move for him, isn't it? Obviously he doesn't want the situation to continue for the next 2, 3, 4 years, foreseeable future, but he will get opportunities, I think, throughout the course of the season. Without a doubt, he'll get a chance to showcase himself, as he has done tonight. But... yeah, it's a little bit of a quandary, isn't it? When you've got someone of the quality of Ricardo in front of you, what do you do? But he's made the leap now. He's made his bed. He's got to lie in it.
One thing's for certain: whatever happens to him, James, in his Leicester City career, whether he stays and plays and becomes the Leicester City right back in the future, or he leaves, he'll leave a better player. That is one thing that is for sure. I'm not saying...
Then his reputation enhanced as
absolutely. Well. He's carried himself brilliantly. You hear him speaking, what a humble guy he is.
Yeah, he's a lovely lad, yeah.
So, that's why you have to say it is the right move coming here, because if and when he does ever leave here, then he'll have improved himself as a player at least. I don't think he can improve as a human being because he's already a very rounded young fellow.
As a professional, his understanding of the game, etc. Even if his opportunities are limited, his stock's not going to go down, is it? Because people will still be wondering. That they'll be thinking. Let's say he only got a handful of appearances over the next couple of seasons, but they'll be going, but he's Premiership level. It's not like all of a sudden he's failed and he's gone back down to Championship, so League One.
But it's quick to say as well that he can play in a variety of positions.
Absolutely.
And
that's a little heads up for the manager.
Absolutely. I don't just play at fullback.
Yeah.
He said he did that when he was younger, though.
Yeah.
He's an old man at 21 now.
Yeah, I was just saying I hate it when 21-year-olds start talking about being younger. But he looks a terrific player for me.
Well, the one thing is he fits well into what Leicester City are doing. He's got that pace, he's got that energy, isn't he? And he's got that fitness.
Yeah. I mean, he's a terrific understudy to Ricardo, but he can also play left back, which he has done. Christian Fuchs. Oh, I agree with you. I think he played well tonight.
Excellent.
But the chances are that he might be leaving in the summer, Christian Fuchs. I think they're still having talks, but it looked as though he was going over to America, I think, in the summer. But they then want a cover for left back. Well, Justin can do that, to Ben Chilwell as well. So he can cover both full-back positions, and he looks as though he could, if necessary, play as a wing-back. So I think Brendan Rodgers will be delighted to have him in the squad.
Yeah, we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers very shortly. Just a word on Christian Fuchs, and mentality-wise, he'd obviously made the decision last year that he was going to leave Leicester. He was going to go to the States, where the level of football isn't as high. So you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to wind things down probably and just take it to my retirement. Yeah, absolutely. And then all of a sudden, to be asked to stay and probably provide his knowledge and his experience to the younger players, for him to actually change, go, actually, no, all right, I'm not thinking of retirement now. I'm thinking I'm still a high-level, elite Premier League footballer. That's quite impressive, and to slot in just like he has tonight.
Again, an impressive human being when you speak to him, Christian, you have to say. So fair play to him. And it's never easy, believe you me, Matt will tell you, that when you've been out in the sidelines, not even in the squad, for the last couple of games, and then you're asked to come in and fill in, in a big game like this, it's not easy. And he looked, I swear, he cruised it really. I know he was under pressure and he was trying his hardest, but for me again, his fitness levels again were just right up there. You know, just excellent performance.
I don't know how they do it, Tate.
No, I
in the commentary, like Ian Acho as well, Christian Fuchs. So there's been other examples, but they come in without playing any sort of competitive match football. You know, they might have the odd practice game behind closed doors at the training ground, but very rarely do you see an established member of the first team squad playing in the development at Leicester anyway. And, you know, in our day, it used to be reserve team football. If you're coming back, even if you weren't injured, if you're just, you know, out of the equation for a while, you'd play 1 in 3 games, whatever, just tick over at least. But they look after themselves so well.
It seems with Christian Fuchs, particularly from what you've heard, is the competitiveness within himself. Because for a couple of weeks, Brendan Rodgers has said Christian Fuchs is pushing Ben Chilwell all the way. Because he's thinking, oh, well, I still want to be number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the intensity. It's the intensity of the training as well. Speaking with Johnny Evans, I said, do you do extra running and stuff, you know, when you're out of it? Not that he's been out of it this season, but no, not really. The lads don't. We might go in on a day off, didn't we? If you weren't in the first team mix or whatever, certainly extra training on a Tuesday. But these lads don't. But they said we're encouraged to train at such an intense level when they are properly at it. It carries them through.
It just shows the quality of Leicester's training under Brendan Rodgers, doesn't it? That they, you know, people like Christian Fuchs and Justin, without actually playing in competitive games, can just step into the side and look as though they've been there all season.
Well, let's go back to the tunnel and hear from Brendan Rodgers. He's talking to Dan Bates.
Brendan, another Premier League 3 points. What's your assessment of that?
Yeah, very good victory for us. Tough game. Obviously, Watford sat in to frustrate and make it difficult for us. So it was hard for us to break them down. Had a couple of chances. Thought we had a good shout for a penalty in the first half, which was given and then didn't get. So I thought we were unlucky there. But you just had to be patient in a game like that, and hopefully you make the breakthrough. And thankfully, the players and the crowds, they didn't get frustrated. They just stayed patient, and then eventually we got the breakthrough. And I thought from then we had decent control of the game.
I think there's a belief, isn't there, from the players to the staff to the fans as well, that Leicester will break teams down here.
Well, we certainly have the game and the idea of how to do it. And it's about staying calm and staying patient. I think once we got the first goal, then that brought them out a little bit, and that gave us more space to then play. So, but no, overall, I thought it was a very, very good win. We'll play better. You know, it's one of those games that can be a stuffy game, but no, absolutely delighted with the stamina and again the mentality of the players to keep going. We score another late goal to close out the game. So that shows you the fitness level of the players and the concentration. Jamie gets another goal, and like I said, should have had another penalty. We created other chances. You know, I owed a chance early on, first 5 minutes. However, you know, we can't fault the players tonight, and it was like I said, to win 7 games on the spin and get another clean sheet. That was terrific.
Yeah, 7 games in the Premier League on the spin, 8 in all competitions. Just how good a feel and a mood is there in the dressing room at the moment?
Well, it's very good. Of course, it's our mentality is about constant improvement, and we said before the game today, it was you start from scratch again. You know, whatever you've done in the past, it doesn't really matter. Being a top player and being a top team is about constant, you know, improvement and becoming better and intense and playing on the edge. And I thought we tried to do that this evening.
A word on James Justin as well, Premier League debut this evening. How did you find that?
Yeah, no, delighted for him. He's probably thinking, when was it going to come? But he came into the game, I felt that we wanted to just close it out on that side. He came in, defended very well, and then he took us up the field. He can relieve pressure because he's so fast, so dynamic, and absolutely delighted for him. And he done very well. Christian Fuchs coming in as well, Hamza coming in. So it very much is a squad game, and the squad got the result.
There we go, Brendan Rodgers talking to LCFC Radio's Dan Bates. couple of words that we've heard time and time again: patience, and also about the idea of how to break teams down. And that's something that's really been instilled, because how many times over the last couple of seasons have we gone, they just can't find a way to do it at the moment. And it seems they just have a scenario for each opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen it time and time again, haven't we, this season, where you're coming up against different teams, different setups, formations, and they just continually seem to find a way. And I think it was... can't remember. I think it might have been Harvey first. It might have been Harvey. It might have been James who was saying that they have that belief that they're going to score goals, and when you have that, it makes it easier to find that way, because you know that Jamie Vardy needs one opportunity. Maddison the same. Tielemans, goal threat. Ayoze Perez to a certain degree, goal threat. Harvey Barnes can create, cause havoc.
But he's a goal threat.
Goal threat. Ricardo, Chilwell. You've got goal threats, and so even when it's not quite happening for you, as long as you carry on, and when you talk about patience and stuff like that, it all comes from self-belief. So the players have that self-belief to stay calm, to keep patient, because they know that somewhere down the line, in a tough game of football where opportunities are few and far between, they'll get one. And when they get one, invariably, at the minute, they're taking them.
And they keep going right till the end. That's what Brendan Rodgers was talking about. Let's take the last 5 games. Crystal Palace, an 88th minute goal in a 2-0 win. Arsenal, a 75th minute goal in a 2-0 win. Brighton, 82nd minute goal in a 2-0 win. Then looking into December, of course, we had that result the other day against Everton, 94th minute. Today, 95th minute. Yeah. We've talked about the energy and fitness levels. That obviously has a huge contribution to it, but actually it's just the mentality again.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a consequence of a couple of things, isn't it? One, their energy, durability, or whatever, the capability to keep going on a fitness level. But like you say, but if it's also because of the work that they've done earlier in the game, more often than not in those situations, not always the case, but they've been ahead anyway. So it's like tonight, say for instance tonight, in a different way to other games, but Watford eventually came out and the opening presented itself, and they finished the game off. Do you know what I mean? They've killed teams off. I know it wasn't the case against Everton, but Brighton was a bit similar to that. I know it was a penalty, etc. But they finished the game off with that second goal, didn't they?
Arsenal,
when the other team let their guard down a little bit by having to come out and have a go at winning the game. But they're all round game. The way they managed the game, I think again, without heaping too much praise on Brendan Rodgers, funny as that may seem, with the job he's doing, you don't want to put too much down to him as an individual, but I think the players, that mentality he's saying about learning and progressing daily, pretty much, he puts that across the players. The players are just warming to it, aren't they? They're picking up on it. They're eager to not just get results and produce the scintillating football, etc., but they're eager to learn as players, as professionals, aren't they? And I think you see the way they manage themselves through the game tags. You know what I mean? They're growing up, and they're such a mature team for predominantly a young group of lads.
The manager sets the scene. He creates an atmosphere, so the players go, "Wow, this is amazing. Yeah. I want to be part of it."
They're into it, aren't they?
Absolutely. So that's where Brendan Rodgers plays his part massively. Is he creates the scene for the players to want to get up every morning and go, "I'm going training. I'm going to try hard."
But that's why you can see why clubs like Arsenal suddenly have Brendan Rodgers at the top of their wanted list.
Yeah.
But do you think Mesut Ozil's going to do what Brendan Rodgers says?
No.
I can't say that.
And I know Brendan Rodgers would look at that Arsenal squad, even if he got the faintest interest in going to Arsenal, and think, well, how many of those players would get into the Leicester team?
But I've been reading through the programme notes as an example. Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
He was there. I didn't read it in great detail, just skipped by it, but it was about learning, progressing, and you as a player, you want to, even at his ripe old age. But no, but he's learning things, and it's probably becoming. It's like realisation, probably, or becoming even more aware with the fantastic career that he's had and the managers he's played under. But I think even he's finding it quite exciting and enterprising. The things that are coming into his thoughts, and you're seeing the effects.
Yeah.
Julie says, well done the Foxes, great game, great result. Andy says, I would have taken 10 points from 15, but now we've got 9 from 9. I think we could go for all 15. I think that'll be the only thing in the mind of Brendan Rodgers and the team.
Yeah.
Mark says the manager will get the best of them, and Vino's been in touch saying, well played Leicester, now let's get ready for Aston Villa. Tough trip to Villa Park at the weekend now.
Yeah, it is. It'll be interesting to see the side that he selects for the game at Villa. I mean, he's been saying about it, he might have to just shuffle the pack a little bit. But he'll decide on, when you see them in training over the weekend, on Friday, Saturday.
I don't think it'll be a lot different.
No, I don't think there's going to be massive changes. But he might just tinker around with a couple if he thinks.
Yeah.
I mean, Damari Gray may come back into contention now that if he's shaken off the flu. Chilwell, I don't know why Chilwell.
I think you might see Pratt.
Yeah,
in the
you'd think Chilwell will be back. I don't know whether Chilwell was injured tonight because he wasn't even on the bench. But
I think he had a knock. By all
yeah,
accounts,
So I think he'll try and he'll want the strongest side he can possibly get. At Aston Villa, and it's not going to be an easy game. But the way Leicester are playing at the moment, you fancy them against anyone. And certainly, I'll be surprised if they lose at Villa. It could end up as a draw, probably. That might be the likely result. But, Leicester are capable of winning at Villa.
Yeah, but 1 win from 5 for Aston Villa. They are 1 point above the drop zone at the moment. It's pressure on them as well.
No, well, without a doubt. And their manager's under a bit of pressure from the fans. They're under a bit of pressure from their league position. So it's a massive game yet again in the Premier League. We say it every week. Every game's massive, but some games are more massive than others. There's no small games in the Premier League, but some games are massive. Some games are super massive. Sunday is super massive again for more reasons than one.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're saying they're the likely result. I know what you're saying, but for me, the likely result is a Leicester win.
Yeah.
One way or another.
And Jamie Vardy's going to relish that because Villa are a crowd who'll probably try and get on top of him early doors, and he'll go,
we know what happens when that happens.
Well, Leicester away fans actually shout abuse at Jamie Vardy as if they are the home team, just to get him going.
Get him going.
They've sussed it out now.
Yeah.
Rile him up, of course. Liverpool finished 5-2 in the end. Wijnaldum with a goal there. So that's what finished there.
That's problems for Silva, isn't it?
We shall see.
Quite emphatic there, isn't it? Yeah.
As for tonight, though, thank you to Nev, thanks Jerry, thanks Matt, and thank you for listening. Leicester up to second, 7 in a row, and 7 goals in a row for VARD. See you Sunday.
Jamie Vardy with the chance from the spot to score yet again. Here he comes, right-footed, and he finishes in typically emphatic style. Here's Maddison though bursting into the penalty area to finish things off. James Maddison makes it 2-0 with virtually the last kick, and Brendan Rodgers' side are rewriting the record book.
For more in-depth analysis, reaction and extended highlights, head to lcfc.com.